Canada's war on America. This is my speech today. Another attempt. I hope it works out. I'm being mobile, getting hit pretty hard here in Canada over any kind of American civics, American understanding. This is my speech on pluralism for Canadians, French, English, First Peoples and their narratives and what's been done to us. Now, folks, I don't have the gift of linguistics. I don't speak French. I always struggled in literary skills, high math, but I have other skills, other dimensions, and it's pluralism. That's called the United States of America. While they speak English, they don't speak Canadian Oxford English or French Oxford. They don't at all. And this is never taught to you, that the words we use every day, even in the English language, are those words the French interpret from the English language, are not of the same definition in the United States. We see this in many adverbs, many verbs, many nouns. Completely opposite, in fact. And it's not by any other thing than an evil system of an old world. A pluralism we know nothing about. Most Americans, most Canadians don't think twice about it. They don't think twice, but they're quick to get angry and offended by one another and each other. Because the basis of so much of our societies, the souls of our nations, rests on those understandings in key words used by both Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre today. Words that matter, words that say things to America. We are going to destroy you. This matters. Words like equity versus equality and what that means out of the mouths of Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre, the Canadians know nothing about, that Americans take great alert, great fear from when they hear your politicians talking like that. And it's important for everybody to know that these speeches out of the mouth of Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre today had nothing to do entirely with the people of Canada. In fact, zero, zip, zilch, as you are not Canada. You are not in the sovereignty. You are nothing of America. America, the United States, is bound and enshrined in order to make a more perfect union. We, the people, in what? Equality. Meaning every man, woman, race, creed, color, sex, every single person, regardless of status, wealth, or what have you, is the same, valued the same. And at the end of the day, they are the power of the executive, the power to enforce law, power to legislate law, power to use the judicial system as the people need and see fit. None of this exists in Canada. None whatsoever. In our Oxford, and in our legal speak, in our pluralism. Not for the Canadian English and not for the Canadian French. None of it. We are defined by subjugation, dehumanization, and assigned equity. Equity that is outlawed in every single one of the 50 states of the Union today. You can't find a single constitution, even that of New York or California, that gives any power or authority over equity, diversity, or inclusion, which is entirely what your crown imposes on all of you. In their singular pluralism that assigns equity to classes, that gives forth the highest laws of the land that say they, the elite, whomever you elect and that they appoint, has ultimate autocratic power, has all of your sovereignty. America, this is absolutely 180 degrees opposite to that which is Canada in all of its entirety. When Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre say Canada first, for Canada, it's for them and them alone. All of their first class assigned, those sworn to them. It's outlined in the constitutional acts of Canada. Unlike the United States, that over and over places checks and balances for the people of America every step of the way. Canada, it narrates a power of an elite defined by title, defined by assigned equity, never once mentioning any of the people of Canada. Not a one. More than that, they dehumanize the First Peoples under a heinous Indian Act, pulling away all the rights of human beings, creating a savage peoples. Completely opposite of that of what is America, where the Indian citizen is equal to that of every other American. In fact, has the power of a state in their bands when they constitute. More land, more sovereignty, real self-government, self-determination, the power to collect and define their own system, their own taxation, their own system of revenue, not bleeding off of that of the system through assigned equity, which is what Canada does entirely. We the people do not exist in any way, shape, or form in the more than 156 pages of multiple texts assigned to the Constitutional Acts of Canada from 1867 till today. We've never changed. We are not assigned any worth, none whatsoever. The promise of 51st State is to give the sovereignty to the people of Canada as a State of the Union. A system designed 100% free trade, 100% natural rights you're born with, that no government can take from you. No government can define over you or remove from you. That's the promise of the 51st State. That's the promise of the Allies of World War II. What America made Canada promise they would enshrine, they have not. And they bleed and they take, and they bleed and they take. And the people of Canada get weaker and weaker. And the United States has drawn a line in the sand on pluralism. That you will take this America forward or you will be stopped. That is the universal message today, found with Republicans and Democrats alike. I assure every Canadian, the only path forward is the 51st State of Canada, making that which is most beautiful of America, what's most beautiful in the world today, a part of Canada, and Canada's best parts going forward in the State of the Union, where we don't lose our pluralism, we lose our autocracy, we gain the power of the people. That is the promise of America. Everything Pierre Poilievre and Mark Carney want to do opposite. They want to whip you, enslave you, subjugate, or savagely define you for their power, their wealth, their elite, their friends. Does not matter right to left in this country under our system. That which is 180 degrees defined opposite of the United States of America. Donald J. Trump did not bring this war. Canada did. It continually taxed its people, using the revenue from the people to subsidize their evil system. their wealth accumulation against the United States of America. The United States of America says, you, the Canadian people, must turn them back. You must be friend, not foe. Those who vote for Mark Carney or Pierre Poilievre are an enemy of the free world. That is a fact today. You are declaring war against America. And if you believe, Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre, that we can go forward in a world absent of America, that we are going to be enshrined with some other system, I ask you, I implore you, what system will that be? Because for more than 100 years, the European Union has refused you entirely. They are Europe, a continent many thousands of miles away. They have rejected you dozens and dozens of times because you are a country in the continent known as North America. You are not in Europe. You'll never belong. They'll never sign a trade deal with you. You will never get free trade with the European Union. What does that leave Canada with? China, the BRICS. Think about what Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre are promising you. Think about what they're telling you. In the United States of America, no American, no matter how big a business, no matter how far and how successful they go in the globe, is able to remove themselves from the United States and be liable to the United States, to the American people for the rest of their lives, unless they wish to renounce their American citizenship. There's nowhere for you to go. Not one country will show you any amount of you hiding your money or stealing from the American people. Canada, it is 100% opposite. All politicians take their money and wealth stolen from you and place it outside of your range. Yes, entirely through the Commonwealth. Yes, entirely in all kinds of unaccountable systems where no banking rules apply. They steal from you. This is absolutely Mark Carney, and it's absolutely Pierre Poilievre. Has anyone ever heard of Pierre Poilievre's polling company? I bet you can't even name it. It's worth over $20 million. It far outpaces the 338 or even the genius Angus Reid, who's worth a modest sum, the most successful polling company in Canadian history. But yet, Pierre Poilievre's polling company, which is guilty of election interference in the United States last election, he was paid by global sources to propagate against Donald J. Trump. That's why he wishes to destroy Pierre. That's why he hates the conservatives. That's why he hates liberals. They're all in it to destroy the American people. We are the enemies of America as long as we champion our crown system. And it's not going to end whether Donald J. Trump ends in 3 years and 10 months. It's not going to end. All Democrats will go forward with this because the changes Donald J. Trump has done now, pushing Canada to make this choice, you're with us or you're against us, will transcend all parties and will never be changed, Democrat or Republican alike. It is not possible to change, meaning come April 15th, 2026, it will be forever. It will be Canada versus USA, meaning Canada a Chinese affiliate, Canada a Russian affiliate, or is it Canada the rest of the third world civil law socialist countries? All autocratic, all military dictatorships. Please tell me, Canadians, which one are you going to go with? Because in the absence of America, you certainly do not have the European Union. Anyone telling you that is a liar. And in fact, a devout socialist and fascist, a person who subscribes to the soul of this nation, a soul that introduces this country as for the betterment of the British Empire and the Crown, a system of elites who must be sworn, must be the few to rule over subjects, peasants, serfs, and savage classes of people. Harshly. That is what your Constitution and the soul of your nation is. Defined, always and forever, 1867 to 2025 and still running. We've never changed. America says it's over. Change or be destroyed. Change or come back groveling. And then we will tear you apart. And you will lose your health care. You will lose it all. You will go bankrupt. Take this gift, this precious gift. Pressure your politicians. They've restricted Canada, the 51st state. They've restricted it. I have global media tomorrow to go into great depths on this. That's going to go all over Canada. It's going to go all over the world. And we'll see where I end up in American media, folks. But this is real. It's happening tomorrow. Share, share, share. Get this truth. The speech of pluralism as it really is. What every Canadian needs to know. You have a right to know. Every Anglophone, Francophone, and absolutely all First Peoples. Because we are under the harsh destruction of a crown elite of socialists and fascists, as they've always been in this world. Enemies of the free world. Enemies of the allies of World War II. A breach of the promise Canada made in 1945 that they have not lived up to. And again, Democrat or Republican, will not go forward forevermore with Canada as it is. It's up to you, the people, to make them go forward. A Prime Minister with Governor General to apply for that Enabling Act. And until you do that, you are at war with America, all of America, Republicans and Democrats. We are the bad guys here. Our elites who narrate lies are the bad guys. From the far reaches of the left to the far reaches of the right and everything in between. If it isn't Canada, the 51st state, it's an enemy of the free world. That's my video. Share, share, share. Get it out there.